I know. We're a Coke school.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Coach.
All right. We talked last. You guys ready? Okay. Talked last time about a little bit about the game. So really nothing's changed, but a couple days closer. So excited to go play. A very good football team in a very challenging game in a hostile environment. It's going to take everything we have and all of our players and firing on all cylinders. Play with the fundamental basics of football, that you have to play with, and can't try to do anything extreme or over our heads. And we got to play a solid game. We know it's going to be a challenge. We've had challenges this year, and we can go out there and go in Friday night and play to the best of our ability. So, like I said, it's a very talented football team. Defensively, they've got a lot of guys on there, play a lot of football. Very opportunistic. They've done a good job all season. There's a reason why they're a top 10 team. Offensively, obviously, the quarterback is one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the country, and rightfully so. So, they've had some injuries of their own this year, and but I fully expect those guys all to be back and firing on all cylinders on their end. So, again, Kirby's done an unbelievable job there. Built the program. His alma mater. So I know how much it means to him to every single day, what he goes in and does and works, and how important those kids are to him and the school is to him. And, I feel like we'll definitely have their best shot on Friday night.
Go.
I believe Kirby said it's going to be a street fight. Can you talk about just the physicality you're expecting and what it means in this game in particular, just how the teams kind of attack each other?
Yeah, I mean that's what all games are when you play them the right way. But there's nothing easy about the game of football. Football's for tough guys. We've had a lot of those games. I know they've had a lot of those games. We watch them on tape. We've watched them throughout the season. So yeah, we're expecting a tough physical football game. They pride themselves on being a physical team. They pride themselves on winning the line of scrimmage. And then, they don't just say it. They've backed it up. They've backed it up not just recently. I mean, they've backed it up for a long period of time. So it'll be a big challenge for us.
You guys have had a lot of emotional, high-stakes games this year. How's your clubhouse been able to harness that emotion and continue to do their jobs and not let that emotion get in the way?
Yeah, the big thing is taking emotion and using it as fuel. You don't want to play emotional in games. Emotions get you out of whack, cause you not to be disciplined. When you lose control of the emotional state, you're now everything else is going to go behind it. So it's hard to think clearly when you're in an emotional state. I want guys to get all their emotions out prior through the week. That's why we practice the way we do and do the things we do. So, but you have to turn those emotions into fuel and use that fuel to propel you throughout the game and to play your best.
Do you have an update on Tay Seymour or Warren Burrell? Obviously, Tay was dressed last week, just didn't play, and then Warren, where he's at.
Yeah, I think Warren's in the locker room right now, showering up after a really good practice. So, expect Warren out there. And Tay's day-to-day still. He's improved since last Saturday. He was an emergency guy last Saturday. So, expect to have all those guys ready to go on Saturday or Friday.
Tell us about Will Skism.
Skiz. This, what a cool story. Really just a reflection of this football team and what this team has been from the beginning of the year. Because the football team is not just what happens during the season. The football team is what takes place from the beginning of January throughout. Skiz has been here since I have, probably longer. I think I know he's getting his master's right now. I don't know if he's made anything other than an A since he's been here. But to have a guy when you vote for permanent team captains, right? To have a guy that's never played a snap in a game, hadn't dressed out this year. He's actually working as a student coach, helping us. I mean, he does signals. He practices his signals as hard as guys practice, offense, defense, special teams. He stands in front of a mirror. He rehearses them. He goes through a pregame walk where he watches himself and critiques himself. But just who he is. I mean, when he was an offensive lineman, he would, no guarantee, hardly a chance of ever playing in a football game. He would stay after practice for 30 minutes and work on his pass sets or work on his run blocking. Just, truly believes in being the absolute best version of himself. Doesn't compare himself to others. Comes from a wonderful family. Dad, has a long history in football. But this is a kid that has never walked in and asked for one thing. All right, he's never expected anything other than a chance, and he's made the most of it. And a lot of times, people don't see what really takes place in a locker room. And I think this is probably the most shining example of how our locker room is. That it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how many plays you play, it doesn't matter what your status is externally. All that matters is what type of person you are and how you're valued in that locker room. And I think that showed with him being voted one of the permanent team captains and joining a pretty cool, unique club.
I think it's unique in your situation. You're in your second full year as a head coach, but the core of this team has been the offensive and defensive line. A lot of guys that you recruited on the offensive line and the D-line that you were going against every day as an O-line coach, and seeing their development over the years. Has it been special to have that kind of be the core of this team and seeing those guys, be leaders, grow up and be in this program for so many years?
Oh yeah. I mean, we had I think 15 or so, 15, 16 guys on this team that had double-digit votes for permanent team captain. I mean, that's unheard of. And a lot of them, there are a lot of linemen. And, that's the way we've built the program. That's from the very start. We wanted to build it inside out, build it, because those are the developmental positions as well. Those are the positions that take longer, to develop in the weight room and maturity. So, we wanted to attack that first, be able to build it. But then we had a core of guys that were here already, and to see those guys develop and how they've matured over the years, knowing their families the way we do, the way I do. It's been special. It was pretty cool to be able to announce some of those guys yesterday, and just the ride we've been on with those guys, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the highs and the lows. Right, that's what builds character, and it's a true testament to those guys, having stuck it out through those times, and be here now to play their final regular season game.
Carson Beck and Georgia's passing offense, what makes them successful in what they do?
Well, it starts with him. I mean, he's a good player, really good player. Very experienced. At that position, the more snaps you take in real time, with those guys barreling down on you and the coverages and seeing pictures, the better you're going to be. And then he's got a unique talent, unique skill set. He gets all the credit for the way he throws the ball in the passing offense. But I mean, this is a kid. I remember coming to camp when he was in high school. He's a 4'6" kid. He can run. He can get out of trouble. And then they've got really good players on the outside. The guys that can run, make plays. A good group of tight ends in the middle that they can distribute the ball to, and they've got a massive, big offensive line that really works to wear you down as the game goes on. Right? As the game goes on, pass rush becomes less because of the way they lean on you and wear on you, and it allows them to be more and more effective. So it's a complete package. It begins with him, but he's got a complete package around him.
How's the defense at Georgia changed a little bit this year? They've normally been very stout against the run. They've been hit a little bit the last couple games with that. And just, do you notice any differences, or is it just the same kind of Kirby Smart defense that it's been?
No, it's the same, schematically. There's always going to be tweaks year to year. There's always going to be tweaks game to game. But, look, I don't care what happened in the last game. I fully expect those guys to bring their best and play their best and this be a very formidable challenge for us in being able to establish the line of scrimmage. I mean, they're good. They got good players, and it's a good scheme. They're very well coached.
Kelly?
The reality of playing a team like that, a highly ranked team, you guys have had success this year with that and in the past here, and you've played Georgia close your first 2 games against them. Do you feel like that breeds confidence in your guys that they can just play with anybody at this point and it's not about rankings or any of those things?
Yeah, I mean, confidence comes from belief. You know, confidence comes from believing, not necessarily having done. But you know, the games these guys have played in, the way these guys have won this year, yeah, I think it creates a belief that leads to the confidence that and plus you got to trust the process of the way we go about playing games, and the way we go about the week. You know, playing one game at a time, not being affected by the scoreboard, not being affected by the environment. Honing in the focus, as sharp as a tack, down to the minute details of what has to be done, so those other things don't affect you. But yeah, confidence comes from all those things. And look, we've got a team that they believe in each other too. I mean, these guys they want to play for each other, play with each other. So it's really all those things together. I don't think anything past has any bearing on this game, especially in the seasons prior.
Anything else? All right.
That's it. All right, thanks. Go Jackets.